There we go. Back to speaking to this camera again for the 5th week in a row. Each video I always do this little monologue sitting here in my bedroom at my desk with the boring background of my bedroom. This week we're gonna change it up a little bit and wanna take the camera around the apartment complex and talk to it, you know, with all of my neighbors sitting and watching me awkwardly from the windows. So here we go. College football is officially back in action, and Auburn's first game was against Kentucky. This vlog was basically me videoing that day. First thing that morning I woke up at 6 a.m. and had to be at Grant and Mason's trailer by 6:50. Grant and Mason are in 2 different fraternities, and Grant got one of his pledges in the fraternity to come pick us up at 6:50 in the morning and brought us to campus. So yeah, we were on campus for an 11 a.m. kickoff at 7 a.m. and no one else was on campus. We were the only people on campus, and we were gonna try and get Chick-fil-A for breakfast, but of course the student center where Chick-fil-A is at was closed. So there we were at 7:15 in the morning with 2 hours until we could get into the football game, just twiddling our thumbs, and we had to figure out something to do. So of course we just plotted down, took a seat on the bench in front of the stadium. But for the next 2 hours, we sat around, ate our vending machine breakfast, and talked. Earlier in the week, when we all got our student tickets for the game, Mason, Grant, and I all had separate tickets, and we were all going to be sitting different spots. And for the first pretty much half of the week, you know, in my head I said I'm not going to go to the football game. I didn't want to sit in the upper deck. I didn't want to sit alone without any of my friends. So I called my dad, told him the situation, and he was like, why wouldn't you go to the football game? You know, if you get in there and you're a quarter in and you're not like where you are and you can't get to the seats where you'd like to be, then just leave. It's easier to leave, you know, after the fact or after the start rather than trying to get in after the fact. I made the decision to go, and I'm happy we did, because when it was 9 a.m. for the gates to be opened, you know, I just took a shot in the dark and got in line with Mason where I'd like to be. I scanned the ticket, I gave her my ID card, and I was good to go. And me and Mason basically were the first people into the entire stadium. It was cool to see. We sat in the lower bowl, right on the 40-yard line. Grant said something that really hit me hard. He agreed with the argument that my dad gave, saying, why wouldn't we come to the football game? He said, there's been people that have been coming to these football games since they were in college back 40, 50 years ago, and they haven't missed a game since. And here we were in a national pandemic getting to go to a football game, and people wishing, begging that they could come. And who was I to have a ticket, pay for the ticket, and end up not going? So yes, I'm 100% glad that I made the decision to go to the football game, and I'm looking forward to the next few. The best thing about college football being back is the sense of normalcy that it brings to the world. The feeling in the air when it's the beginning of fall and football season is just beginning is completely unmatched. You know, the feeling you get when you're walking around Auburn and everyone is dressed in, you know, orange and navy, and it's unmatched, and it just adds to the lack of unity that we've been feeling recently, and it's something that I'm overwhelmingly appreciative of. And of course, after beating Kentucky, we walked up to Toomer's Corner and saw everyone rolling the trees. We didn't get to roll the newly planted Toomer's Oaks, but we did get to roll the rest of the trees there on the corner and in front of Sanford Lawn, and it was exciting. I've obviously seen people roll the corner before, but this was my first time as an Auburn student, so it was kind of a little special thing to me. I'm quite the nostalgic type, but it was definitely a cool experience for the first time as an official Auburn student. So, you know, experiencing that with 2 of my best friends was awesome, and I'll never forget it. So after all of that good and fun stuff at Toomer's in downtown, we got lunch, Ubered back to the trailer, and we took naps and chilled for the rest of the afternoon when we got there. Later that night, we tried to go downtown, and the mood wasn't right. It wasn't the right vibe. I hate that word, but it wasn't the right place to be, so we ended up right back at the trailer watching football and hanging out. It was definitely a good first football game week here at Auburn, and I'm 100% looking forward to the rest of them. The hat in the sun, it's just like, So yeah, that was the weekend. Sunday, we didn't do too much. We just sat around and watched NFL football. Logan was watching his football team, the Bills, and I got a funny little clip of him at the end of the game. The Bills nearly choked a 25-point lead, and so at the very end of the game, they had to complete a game-winning football drive with like a minute and a half left, and they won the game, and here's the clip of Logan reaction to them winning the game.
All right, come on, let's go, Josh. You put the ball in Josh Allen's hands right now, and you tell him to